What's worse than being late? I'm not talking about on a global scale, I'm just talking about on a personal level.
That gate should be open now.
This week we find ourselves navigating the treacherous waters of Lake Baroon. And also, we're testing out a new film stock. And I'll tell you this much right now. I didn't really like it. After I got that roll of film back, I definitely felt like the digital pictures were the winners. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying it's a bad stock, but I just don't think it was for me.
Wow. Whoa.
Experts have actually recently discovered that 90% of my vocabulary
Sensation.
comes from movie references.
I'm trying to get closer, but I want to get there before all these clouds burn off.
I'd initially brought my DSLR only for metering. That's why I only packed the 50mm. It's nice and compact and it's good for metering. And it's a pretty good focal length, I think. Just in case I did want to take a couple of photos. We are shooting the Harman Phoenix 200. And I've got to say that I didn't really like it. And I stand by that. I think the colors are a little bit too muddy for me. Maybe if you like the colors from this film, you're just a little bit more artistic than I am, and I just can only hope and pray I'll be on your level one day.
Alright, we're here.
There's the consulate. If I could just find a parking. Down, Pumbaa. So this shot, according to my metering, I had overexposed by a stop. Idiot. Call me crazy, but I think that first one looks a whole lot better. I think that maybe this stock can handle a lot more light than what I threw at it. That's probably why I didn't really like any of the shots. But hey, lesson learnt.
It is time for breakfast. I'll tell you what, I have had breakfast in a worse place. Tasty Nutella sandwiches.
Got a couple of these little cheeky shots that I snapped up on the Canon while I was eating my brekkie. It's hitting all those tones that I like. I like it a lot. I feel like bringing my little Canon camera saved the day. I would have been pretty disappointed if I walked away with just what I shot on film. Which of course leads me to the dilemma I had on the day. What is the etiquette around shooting things once on film and then once on digital? I battled with this for a long 3 minutes. And I basically came to the conclusion of, why did I even have this question in my head in the first place? It's not anyone else's business but mine. Do both. Hey!
Wind's starting to pick up now. Starting to get choppy. Starting to get splashed.
But in all seriousness, I do want to pose the question, did I just expose the film incorrectly? Should I have pushed it a little bit further with my exposures? Or is it just the nature of this film and those are the colors that it produces? And this is actually a genuine question. I really want to know because I want to know if it's worth buying this film again to give it another test run. So let me know in the comments. From the last point of takeoff, I've probably been paddling around for the best part of 2 hours. So it's time to get my wet butt out of that seat because it is starting to hoit. No matter where I go, it always seems that I end up photographing textures. I have this little personal obsession about the way light hits certain surfaces. Have you ever been sitting at a cafe and had a glass of water put in front of you and then the sunlight beams through it and then you can see the little reflections on the table?
Something.
I could stare at that for hours.
This is phenomenally beautiful.
And no, before you ask, there's nothing wrong with me. Not formally anyway. Let me just take a second to briefly explain exactly what I'm drawn to here in this landscape. For those wider shots, I like that you have a minimal color palette. You've got the water, the vegetation, and the sky. To me, it shows a little bit of order in a wild outside landscape. And another thing. See how this like grassy bank almost goes straight into the water with like minimal dirt in between it? It kind of just goes tree, grassy bank, water. And finally, the classic bunya nut tree, which resembles just a regular old pine tree with that classic iconic shape which has associated itself with outdoor life or wilderness. A day on the water will always provide me with more ideas and experiences than behind this flippin' computer. Please excuse me as I enter my geriatric old man phase where I'm grumpy at everything that's electric.
I am worth it. I am valuable. I am a man. Water. Rain clouds coming. Nah, it was flat. Nothing. Great. Grassy. I feel like I'm just in the backyard.
On film, I reckon I walked away with 2 that I liked. Despite me not liking the actual film stock, I do really like this shot. And despite its muddy colours, I do kind of like this shot too. I'm always looking for cool places and cool people to photograph, and I try to make one of these videos at least once a week. Just encourages me to get out and see the world a little bit more. Anyway, speaking of these videos, check out a little sneak peek from next week's video.
Very dusty.